If you are seeing this, then I am getting that you've been trying to connect with a passed on loved one, and that they are actually trying to like let you know that they hear you by sending you like signs in nature. What I'm seeing specifically is like leaves positioned in a certain way in numbers. So that's might that might be something that you're seeing. Um, and of course, also just birds, feathers, um, rabbits, cardinals. Those are birds. Whatever you see, it's going to be significant to you. Okay. So the song that I was hearing was a Janet Jackson song, and Velvet Rope seems to be significant. I don't know. I don't know why. Um, but yeah, because that's the name of the album, and so but I heard the song, but I could see the velvet rope, and it looked like someone was like opening the rope and like letting someone through and then closing it. Are you scared of like tapping in and like in talking to your loved one? Because that would okay, that just went flying. This is adversity. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. So that's the way you're going to learn how to tap in, by trying to connect with a loved one, a passed on loved one, I guess. But anyway, what I was going to say is that it's the bouncer that allows someone to come through. When you're going somewhere, let's say you're waiting outside of a club, and they're the ones that decide who can come in, who has to wait. But it feels like it's light, so I think that's your team of light. Are like your bouncers, so you don't have to be scared. Um, your parent and grandparent is coming through, but also like a favorite aunt. I want to say could be uncle also, but I'm just getting aunt. If you've been thinking about them, and they might live in Australia because I see a koala. Unless I don't know what the significance, like the spiritual meaning of a koala is, because I'm curious. So let's look that up. But yeah, so that the koala symbolism, I guess. Peace, relaxation, grounding, stillness, deep breaths, connecting to nature, while also embodying lessons in boundaries. Deciding who can come in, who can't, is creating a boundary. Maybe that's advice from them, that you need to create better boundaries. But so the song that was coming through was called Together Again. It's a lovely song, so you should just look that up, Janet Jackson, Together Again, and it's from the Velvet Rope album. So yeah. So first of all, they're bringing you back to fear. Like don't be scared of tapping in to connect with them, and you can talk to them, and they will send you messages. Like you'll see it. It's either going to be like, I see someone tuning a radio. Okay, so that could either be you're going to get music, or like a commercial, or just you'll happen to turn your car on, the radio's already on, and something will be there that it will be significant to you. But it could also mean tuning in, like the frequency. So that could be it. Meditation would be key there. That's pride. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. That just fell out. Okay. I don't know. I see this and I feel like it's saying forget me not. Like I think it's the blue flower. Mm, I don't know. Okay. I mean, just from the name itself, it feels like forget me not would be about like remembrance. Um, you can look that up too. I'm seeing numbers in like in random things again. Like in concrete, you might see it would look like shapes, but if you glance at it, it looks like um, a sequence of numbers, random places, even like smiley faces. Yeah. So they're going to be talking to you. So you can talk to them. Of course you can. Um, okay. I don't know why this is. Why would you be trying to connect with them? Um, if there was someone who wasn't very kind in life, okay. So I guess I have to tell you this. For someone specific, if you're trying to connect with someone who wasn't very kind to you in life, I don't know why you would do that. Maybe because you want because you want answers. You want to know why. Just I'm always going to go back to this. Just say a protective prayer, okay, and connect with your team of light because your team of light they're going to be like the bouncers. They're going to tell you whether or not they can come through. And if they weren't a very kind person, doesn't matter how they're related to you, but they might, like their energy, they just might be in a place where, and I'm not talking about hell, okay, that's not what I'm saying, but it's just, there are levels. And if you pass away and you have like a lot of bad karma, um, you have some answering to do for it, okay? And in that way, it's like you have to do work on that side too. Um, I don't know, maybe you would want to see like a medium and talk to them a little more about it. But yeah, that's what they're showing me. And they're showing me like, they show me these things because it's significant to me, and then I can like relay the emotion behind it. Okay, so what they're showing me is the different lokas or like levels in Hinduism, and that's like levels of spiritual realms, and there are the lower ones, and then there's Earth, and there are the higher ones. You want to connect up here, okay? If there's someone who's not kind to you, and they're like in a space that's not very good, you don't want to tap into that, okay? I understand wanting to get answers, but sometimes the answer is just because they were not healed and they had traumas that they had to work through and they didn't. And instead of, so I'm seeing like two roads parting. Something happens, an event happens in your life that is difficult to deal with, to work through emotionally. You can choose to heal so that you don't inflict that kind of pain on someone else. Or you can choose a completely different direction, and that is one of like vengeance and, if I got hurt, you have to get hurt kind of thing. And they chose that way. And so, like I said, they have answering to do. They've got work to do on that side. So maybe the reason why, if you are trying to tap in, you're trying to get answers, don't connect with them necessarily. Just try to meditate, connect with your guides, okay? Let them give you the answers. Let them show you what the lesson is in there for you, and also what they were supposed to learn. Like they'll give you the answers that you need, or they'll tell you to move on, move past it, heal from it, and let it go, because you can't control what someone else did already. It's done. You can only control where you put your energy. You're either going to send your energy back there in the past and live in that. And I see a wall, because then that's keeping you blocked. You're not moving forward. You're just staying stuck back there. Or you're going to focus your energy on what's ahead. Okay? And when you do the healing, I see light in front of me, and then that darkness behind me. So you choose where to focus. And I'm seeing a magnifying glass. So you choose to investigate. Be careful. You might not like the answers. Whoa, what fell? Where'd it go? I thought I heard a card fall, but I don't see it. That's weird. Where would it go? The magnifying glass. You're not going to find the answers. That was wild. Okay. Um, yeah, you just just have to accept that you won't find the answers. Okay. Sorry. Um, Happiness is on the bottom. I'm aware that being happy means that I'm on the right path. Maybe focus on that. Focus on what brings you joy to get you out of it. And I'm not saying be unbalanced. Okay. Like we have to learn. We have to work through things. It doesn't mean like put rose colored glasses on and just ignore the reality. That's not what I'm saying at all. Okay. You have to deal with what is in front of you, but don't. They show me someone like sitting in like a dark fog. Like don't sit in that woe is me, what happened. You don't, nothing comes of it. Okay? And like I said, that magnifying glass came through and then I lost a card, I guess. I have no idea where it could have gone. But you so you won't find the answers, okay? If you do that. All right, let me see if there's anything. Do I want to use this deck? Or do you want to use this deck? All right. Since I have it in my hand. Let's see what they want to tell us. Oh, I see pets. Maybe. Listen, I don't judge, and I think that's sweet. If you have a passed on pet that was like, animals can be soulmates too, in the sense that there's someone who comes into, or some, like a soul that comes into your life at a time when you really needed to tap into that unconditional love, because that's what animals do for us, right? They're so much higher up there, like directly connected to the angels and like to love, because I just see like love, that vibration. Um, so yeah, that's okay. You can miss your pet. Don't let anyone tell you you can't. Guilt. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. So you're holding on to some negative energies then, or like negative sentiments with regard to that person's passing, or with regard to. All right. They're showing me, not something I really care to talk about, but okay. They're showing me and my father. So, all right. So while we did have a great relationship, he was also someone who had his demons. Okay, he had issues with alcoholism, and so when he was sober, he was wonderful to be around. But when he was not, he was a nightmare. Okay, and when he passed, I felt like I felt guilty. I did, because I spent so much time being angry at him when he was, in that state, and when he was drunk. Because that's all I could be at the time, like was angry, like what are you doing? But it wasn't like, I want to be clear about this. It wasn't that I felt guilty that, my reactions to him, because I know people say and do things when they're under the influence that are not kind, and you can't help but react. You're human, okay? So that's not where the guilt was. The guilt was I felt like so much time was wasted because he was such a good person and hysterical. I mean, when he was sober, I'm telling you, the way we would laugh, it was like tears were streaming down my face. My stomach would hurt, my cheeks would hurt. We would laugh for hours. And it wasn't like bad dad jokes. Like, he was pretty funny. Okay. So, and I got that. And we would have like this back and forth between us, humorous. It wasn't anything, rude or nasty, nothing like that. But so that's what I felt guilt behind. I felt like I missed out on so much. Like, I was stuck for a while on the fact that most of my life he was, battling his addiction. And it felt like a waste. It felt like, why didn't I get to have that better relationship, right? So kind of like that's where my guilt was. And yeah, of course, there were times I said things in response to what he was saying to me when he was under the influence. So of course, I felt guilt for that. I'm not gonna lie. There, things do get said when you're in that heat of the moment. God, I hate talking about this, but okay. So they're telling me that's they told me to tell you this for a reason that might apply. Okay. Sorry. I just don't like talking about it. Um, but yeah, that might be what you're going through too, or any kind of guilt, any form of guilt. The point of that card coming out is just to release that, okay? Because it doesn't serve you in any way. It just, again, it holds you back. I see those that, ball and chain, that they would kind of clamp around someone's ankle. It doesn't serve you, okay? So, anything else? Can we tell them what to focus on? Surrender. Oh, look at that. Ooh, dang. All right. Surrender. Just surrender it. Surrender those emotions. I can release my need to control. This always reminds me of a petri dish, though. I can't lie. I don't know. Maybe you're a scientist. I don't know. Maybe you work in a lab. Maybe they worked in a lab. I don't know. But yeah, okay. So surrender. And that is a controlled environment. A lab is a controlled environment. So let the emotions come. Feel them, but let them go. Don't hold on to it, and just give it back to source. Okay. And adversity is the other one that came out. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. This might be like a life lesson was to be gained from that relationship. Yeah, I can say that is the case for me. And lessons are to be gained from every interpersonal relationship that we have, okay? So that is probably where they're going with that. All right, can I give you guys something good? Like, let's use this. All right. Can we leave them with a positive message? I see hearts. I think that has to do with like floating up. So I like let it go with love. Did I say that? Maybe they're just telling me to say it. Oh no, that's it. They're not giving me anything. And that was the last vision. Okay. Hearts, let it go with love. Okay. I hope this helps you. Think about whether it's you want to see a medium or even therapy. Therapy can help, okay? Getting it out, saying whatever you have to say there. Skilled at posing very general questions so that you can respond and you kind of lead the session in a way where you're getting out whatever it is that's on your mind that you need to get out. You don't even realize it, okay? So yeah, it really does help to talk to someone. So think about that. Think about going to therapy. I wanted to say that too. Okay, I think this is going back to pets, because I see a dog that's really happy with like these wild sunglasses. Maybe you used to dress up your pet. I guess that's the good note. And there's a squirrel. Okay, we did say get out in nature, but with squirrels, I think of the acorns that they plant, right? And it's like planting seeds. So like we plant seeds wherever we go, or whoever you interact with. So there's always something for you to remember someone by or that pet by. I guess that's where they're going with it. I don't know why. I'm seeing the squirrel, and I'm seeing squirrels with the acorns, like the way they dig little holes. I know because my backyard is currently filled with hundreds, okay, of little holes. And then they forget where they planted them. So come springtime, you've got oak trees popping up, and it's yeah. I think there's something, if you can, find something silly or, like the good memories to hold on to. I feel like telling you that. Maybe that's the point of that. We forget, okay, there's so many things that happen that, like the squirrel that's always digging the acorn. Sorry, I don't know what. I think you know how an acorn digs, how a squirrel digs. Anyway, yeah. So I got distracted now. Shoot, I'm gonna have to go back and see. I might just have to leave it written. The acorn, the squirrels digging. Oh, we leave so many little bits of us while we're moving through life. And some you find, some you don't. Don't look for the negative. If you really want to remember someone, try to look for the positive. Heal from the negative. Do that so that it's not something that's keeping you bogged down, because I see like weights on a person's shoulders. Don't let it keep you down, okay? I'm not saying ignore it. Of course, acknowledge it. Acknowledge what happened, because you have to in order to heal from it. But you don't want that to control you. Oh, we got release control. We were talking about the lab. So yeah, you don't want that to control you, okay? Focus on, if you can, focus on the fun times. Yeah. It's sweet. I see like a family, like the child is in the middle and the mother and father are on the side, and like, their arms are just around each other, and they're just walking, um, like walking into the sunset. So yeah, that'll get you through life. Okay, heal from the negative, but hold on to the positive. That's, I guess I already shared something about me. So if I mean, that's what I do. I think more about the humorous times that we had, and like, the jokes and some of his jokes. Yeah, of course, some of those typical dad jokes, but other things that we laugh at. And I'll see things throughout my day, and I feel like that's him communicating with me, telling me, focusing on this because it is comical, whatever it is that he's sending me. Okay, it's like it brings me back to a specific memory, and then that's what I think about. I'm not delusional. I know what happened in the past. I know how difficult it was dealing with, and anyone who has an alcoholic family member knows how you can't ignore that. You can. Okay. So I know exactly what we went through as a family, but I am choosing to heal. Well, I've chosen to heal from it because it's not something that I hold on to. And I actively choose to focus on the brighter times, because that's also who he was. That that bad habit wasn't. They're showing me like a pie chart. It was a small sliver of who he was. You know, there's a whole other aspect to that chart, to who he was, to his personality, to his wonderful characteristics. That's what I choose to focus on. Why would I give that itty bitty little sliver all of my attention? Okay, so I think that's the advice for you from them. I'm not telling you what to do. This is advice from them. I'm just telling you what worked for me. Okay. Um, yeah. All right. So that is it. I'm not getting called to tell you anything else. So I hope this helps you along with, with that grieving process, with deciding on whether or not to connect with someone who's passed on. That's all I have for you. So let me know if this resonates, and also just try to focus on the good. And I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful night whenever you see this. Okay? Take care. Bye.